How to make Italian Tiramisu. You will need 400 grams of ladyfinger cookies, 2 cups of espresso, 6 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 cup of sugar divided into 2, and 500 grams of mascarpone cheese. You're going to want to filter out approximately 2 cups worth of warm espresso. Now, if you do not have a coffee machine at home, that is all good. You do not need a magnificent steamer to make a good tiramisu. You can use a French press, a normal filter coffee methods, or espresso grounds, or a coffee bag. Now you want to crack the eggs and separate the yolk and whites. Now make sure that when you are doing this that you do not get any whites in the yolk mixture, as it can interfere with the blending process. Add one of the divided sugars into the bowl of yolks and the other into the bowl of whites. You might want to pause on putting it into the other bowl of whites because it may interfere with the effect. The yolk and sugar mixture should be this colour and texture, like a custard. Now you're going to want to add your mascarpone cheese and all of it. You don't want to miss any tidbit. When you are folding the mascarpone into the yolk mixture, you want to fold it in very nicely and make sure it is incorporated evenly. You are free to use a spatula to mix it all, but I would recommend going with a whisk to get a better and more smoother result. And it is much more faster and way more efficient. But once again, if you do not have a whisk at your hand.
When you start to whisk the egg whites, whisk it for a little bit before you put the sugar. This is to ensure that it foams up. Now the foam is going to give some really good air bubbles. And we need air bubbles if we need it to form stiff peaks and get a white colour. Now the sugar is really what gives it its white colour, but without the foam we don't have many air bubbles to work with. After you see the foam and the air bubbles at the top, you can incorporate the sugar in, and you will start to see that it is turning foamy and white. Continue to mix with your mixer on high and whisk away. There you go, it's white. A little bit more of whisking and we will be ready for the next step, which is incorporating the egg whites and the custard mixture, which was the yolk mixture. Now you want to fold this in slowly to make sure that there are no air bubbles that are being squished or trampled, because you still need that fluffiness. If it is too dense, it will become too liquidy and it will make the tiramisu a bit too soggy and it will not hold together well. It means a bit of a fluffy cream consistency.
Now you're going to layer the mixture onto the bottom of the pan, so you can lay the cookie fingers, the lady fingers, whatever you may want to call them, in nicely and evenly, so there is a layer at the bottom to serve it from. Now you want to dip the ladyfinger cookies lightly into the espresso to avoid it from crumbling, because the first mistake I made was dipping it in for too long. I really did take the stiffness of this for granted. They soak up very easily and they are very prone to ripping apart. So you want to be very sparse when you dip these into the espresso. After filling the layer with ladyfingers, add a layer of the mixture again and get it all in there. Don't be shy. We've made more than enough. You want to spread it all over there. Yeah, and it looks good. And you want to dunk again and then keep stacking. Sometimes when you are stacking the tiramisu, if your pan is a bit too small, you might have to break off a few ends and make some adjustments. This is perfectly fine and is very good. Now you want to either pipe or spread the tiramisu all over the pan on the top. Now, personally, I found the piping a bit too tedious, and by the time I was piping through it, I was like, this is really tiring, and my piping bag had broken at that point. So if you're trying to save on time and you have no guests to please, I would recommend just taking all the cream out and spreading it all over the tiramisu. But if you do have guests and you are looking to impress, then I would certainly say go for it, use the piping method. Once you have smoothed it all out, you can now proceed with dusting it with some cocoa powder. Now, don't be afraid to get messy. You always have wipes to clean up the table with. Now, you want to leave it in the fridge overnight or for at least 6 hours. Once it's set, serve it up and enjoy. Thank you for watching.